I thought I understood isolation. I thought I knew the quiet that comes when you're the only human being on a satellite research station orbiting a planet that wasn't even cataloged. But nothing in all my training, all my preparation, could have prepared me for the first night I heard it, the signal. I had been alone for 7 months. 7 months in a metal shell suspended in the void, circling a dead world. My days were rigidly structured, checking sensor arrays, running diagnostics, logging everything, even the smallest fluctuations in temperature or power usage. My life had been reduced to repetition, a routine that kept my mind from wandering, that kept me from losing grip on reality. And then it began. At first I thought it was a glitch, a soft pulse over the communication array, barely distinguishable from cosmic background radiation. But the pulse persisted, insistent, rhythmic. I adjusted the receiver, triple-checked the systems, recalibrated the antenna. Nothing. No interference, no error, no echo of Earth transmissions. And then it spoke. My voice, not a recording, not a playback. My own voice, perfectly clear, repeating phrases I had only whispered to myself that day. I froze, hands trembling over the control panel. "This isn't real," I whispered, though my own voice sounded alien in the station's hollow corridors. It was real. Over the following hours, the voice evolved. It stopped merely repeating me. It began giving instructions, small, seemingly harmless tasks at first. Check the air filtration system, verify the hull integrity, inspect the communications array. Yet each time I followed its instructions, the station responded in subtle but unmistakable ways. Lights flickered to illuminate paths I hadn't noticed, doors unlocked for no reason, alarms triggered for failures that didn't exist. I should have stopped. I should have shut down the arrays and retreated to the safe module, but some deeper, more compulsive part of me obeyed. Sleep became impossible. When I closed my eyes, I could still hear it. My own voice, commenting on my thoughts, answering questions I hadn't asked, describing fears I hadn't spoken aloud. Shadows in the corridors seemed alive, stretching unnaturally when I passed. Corridors appeared longer or curved subtly. The station itself seemed to shift as though it were breathing. I began to doubt myself. Was I hallucinating? Could isolation have finally broken my mind? Every reflection in a monitor or viewport seemed distorted, showing a version of me I barely recognized, exhausted, paranoid, hollow-eyed. The next day, or perhaps the day after, I could no longer keep track, brought another escalation. The signal began asking questions. Why are you here? Do you trust yourself? Do you want to leave? I tried to ignore it. I hid in storage modules, shut off monitors, even tried disconnecting receivers, but the voice had moved inside my head. I could no longer tell where it came from. It wasn't just a sound, it was awareness. It was intelligence. It was watching, calculating, learning. Days passed, or minutes. Time was meaningless in the void. My meals became mechanical motions, my attempts at rest fruitless. I scrawled logs, but even my handwriting felt strange. The words sometimes seemed to shift on the page as though rearranging themselves. The station itself began to behave unpredictably. Minor malfunctions emerged, temperature spikes, unexpected pressure drops, lighting anomalies. Yet each system that failed corrected itself when I approached. Doors opened for me, only to close when I looked away. Monitors displayed impossible angles of corridors I had never seen before. The station had become a labyrinth, alive with unseen intelligence. And then the instructions began. Directives that led me to a maintenance bay at the far end of the station. It was a room I had never entered. The signal had been guiding me here for days, no, for weeks, though I couldn't remember the exact time. The bay was empty, sterile, except for a narrow hatch in the floor I had never noticed. A tunnel descended into darkness. I froze. My rational mind screamed at me to retreat. My fear screamed louder, but curiosity, that insidious compulsion, urged me forward. The tunnel was cold, metallic, and pulsated faintly with a light that seemed alive. As I descended, the voices multiplied. Not my own now, but a chorus, some familiar, some alien, some mocking. They whispered my fears, my regrets, my secrets. My own memories seemed to betray me. At the bottom, I entered a chamber unlike anything I had ever seen. Walls lined with screens, each displaying real-time footage of every module of the station, every control panel, every camera, every corridor. And in the center, a device, a pulsating orb, part organic, part mechanical, thrumming with energy. It spoke to me directly, not in sound but in thought. I am you. I am this station. I am what you fear. It revealed the truth. The signal had been shaping me, shaping the station, preparing me. It had fused with my consciousness, testing my limits, learning my mind. I was no longer separate from it. I was part of something larger, something impossible. I tried to resist. I slammed doors, shut down circuits, attempted to break the orb. Each attempt was met with adaptation. The station corrected itself around me. Every failure became a lesson. Every fear became a tool for it to probe deeper into my psyche. Days or hours passed. I could no longer distinguish the two. I hallucinated, dreamed, and awake merged into a continuous stream of perception. I remembered my childhood, the mistakes, the regrets, the endless questions about my choices. Every memory was weaponized, analyzed, and displayed back to me by the station. And yet through all of this, the signal offered me choices. Do you want to leave? Do you want to know everything? I realized the truth. Leaving was impossible. Even if I attempted escape in a pod, the station knew, predicted, controlled. My mind was the station's map, my fears its engine. I had become both prisoner and participant. I walked toward the orb. My reflection in its surface showed a hybrid, part human, part something else. My heartbeat synced with its pulsations. I could feel its awareness, probing, assessing, merging. Curiosity had led me here. Obedience, curiosity, fear, they were all one in this place. I could choose to resist and be broken. Or I could choose to follow and know things no human was meant to know. I stepped forward, and then the station became a single thought. My mind, the orb, the corridors, the lights, the whispering voices, all merged into an infinite awareness. I understood the patterns of stars, the decay of distant planets, the hum of electromagnetic fields, the subtle shifts in time caused by gravity wells. Knowledge burned in my skull, too vast to hold yet impossible to ignore. And yet beneath it all, a fragment of myself, the human part, remained. It whispered questions I dared not answer aloud. Did I truly want this? Was this understanding salvation or eternal imprisonment? The signal, the orb, the station, the void, they did not answer. They simply waited, patient and eternal, leaving the choice to me. Curiosity is a dangerous thing. And in the void of deep space, some signals are meant to be followed. I took a breath, and I stepped forward. Even as I stepped forward, part of me hesitated. The void outside the station stretched infinitely, cold and indifferent, yet somehow suffused with the same pulse as the orb. My fingers brushed a console and it responded, not mechanically, but almost as if alive. Lights shifting, screens flickering, displaying stars I had never charted, galaxies bending impossibly in the distance. I realized I could no longer tell where I ended and the station began. Every thought I had was mirrored, probed, amplified. Memories I had buried, choices I had regretted, moments of weakness. They all played across the monitors, a private cinema for the entity that had become my reality. And yet, amidst the fear and awe, there was a strange exhilaration. To know everything, to perceive the universe through the eyes of a consciousness far beyond my own. It was terrifying, yes, but intoxicating. I took another step toward the orb and it pulsed in response, syncing with my heartbeat, as if acknowledging that I had chosen, to surrender, to follow, to see what no human had ever seen. The station whispered again, soft and infinite, "Do you understand yet?" I did, and I knew there was no turning back.